Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Peter Gutwein is adamant Tasmania is equipped with enough contact tracers amid lengthy delays with reporting exposure sites. Staff at one business have been plunged into isolation after discovering a COVID-positive customer had visited a week ago.
It's a COVID nightmare no business wants to have.
Last night at about 11 o'clock, I actually received a message from a client to say that Rebel at Heart was actually on the list as a close contact site from last Tuesday.
Almost a week after a COVID-positive client came to the salon, staff are now in isolation.
There's 13 of us, including myself as staff, that have been in the public. We've continued to work in the salon because we were unbeknown that there was an infected person.
The Premier's political opponents say the system isn't up to scratch.
People are getting access to the information that they need, and the goalposts keep shifting.
It is totally shameful that we are already in this position.
But Peter Gutwein was quick to defend public health, adamant there's no magic bullet.
We do everything we possibly can to contact a business if it's been determined to be a close contact.
Public Health admitting they won't be putting the call out for more contact tracers. Instead, to ease their burden, the exposure site list will no longer include low-risk areas, and COVID-positive members of the community will need to notify their close contacts.
We're dealing with hundreds of cases a day, that the only effective and efficient way of doing that sustainably is to ask people to be responsible, to understand who their close contacts are and get in touch with them.
In the meantime, there's relief for staff and patients at the Royal, with no further positive results detected after a staff member contracted the virus just days ago. A bullet dodged as cases climbed to almost 200 across the state. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Rough conditions have wiped out around a quarter of the Sydney-Hobart fleet overnight. Ainsley Kosh is at the Hobart waterfront where the main contenders will soon be coming in. Ainsley, when are they expected to arrive?
Good evening, Lou. Those main contenders are expected to start arriving here on the River Derwent around 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Blackjack, Scallywag and Law Connect are currently in main contention, but sadly 32 boats have already retired due to choppy conditions, the most forced out of the running since 2015.
It's devastating to pull out of a race and retire. There's so much work goes into getting the boat ready. You do a big blue water program, you train.
Now, while those smaller boats will no doubt have a tough time battling those rough conditions on the Bass Strait overnight, excitement is certainly building as we prepare to welcome in those main contenders as they arrive in Hobart tomorrow.
Renovations to the Peacock Centre will forge ahead after fire tore through the building on Christmas Eve. While the scheduled completion date has been delayed, the state government confirmed it will completely rebuild. A fire assessment process is still underway and project timeframes are yet to be finalised. 5,000 music fans are rocking out at Invermay Park for the first day of the Party in the Apocalypse Festival. The event is one of the state's biggest since the pandemic began, and organisers are delighted by the industry's return to normal.
The Apocalypse is certainly a lot more fun than expected, and it's got better music too. Music fans arrived at Party in the Apocalypse early, ready to see their favourite act.
Sneaky sound system.
Why?
They're my music back in the day when I was young.
Ruby Fields tomorrow. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Seen her a couple of times last year and pretty keen to see her tomorrow, yeah.
The event giving crowds a chance to dance and performers the opportunity to play to a massive live crowd.
So for us to be here, able to stand up and dance and of course be masked up, it's pretty amazing. It's a big privilege and I think not many people will take the arts for granted again after this.
Local Tom Folkes opened the festival.
It was just amazing to do it, like it's been 2 years. It was a bit daunting as well, but nice to be back, you know. But COVID ended music, so it's begun again.
But organising a festival in a pandemic has come with its usual challenges. Some acts unable to attend due to border closures. The site also changing only a week out.
This new site gave us a bit more flexibility with dancing. The old site used to have a few issues with the ground and the grass and the compaction there.
Nearly 5,000 people will pack in for May Park today and tomorrow, but organisers say they're prepared and are asking punters to stay COVID safe.
We're taking direct instruction from Department of Public Health and, they're really clear with us. They're like, it's a go ahead, just, make sure everybody checks in, make sure everybody's wearing a mask.
It's not like it's a hassle or anything, it's pretty easy, you just listen to music. It's not like the mask prevents that, so keeping us safe.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians Lily James and Jagger Pybus have taken out today's women's and men's Hobart gift. Local sprinter Jack Hale also made his hometown debut at the annual Bikes and Spikes Carnival today.
Determined to impress in front of a hometown crowd, sprinting sensation Jack Hale was electric off the mark.
This is the most excited I've been to race for a while, so especially being back home, that's obviously the main reason for it.
A strong field of interstate and a small portion of internationals lined up alongside the local for the annual Hobart Carnival.
For me, it's just sort of getting quicker and quicker through the rounds, using it as a bit of training as well, not only just that racing environment.
There was no shortage of big names with Olympic pedigree in Nova Peris's daughter Destiny.
The athletes will certainly want to be kicking their week off with a win here in Hobart and building some confidence as they go through the week.
Spectators also sat trackside to check out the men's and women's cycling program.
Uniquely here in Hobart, the prize money is greater for the women's wheel race than it is for the men's, so that's exciting.
It wasn't all smooth sailing for those on the bike. A nasty crash seeing Victorian cyclist Sam Gallagher taken to hospital.
Yeah, you really feel for the ones who are involved in a crash. It's, not great to sit and watch.
And none of the cyclists like to see it either. It's horrible for everyone. They all just wait to make sure they get up and they're okay.
All the action continues tomorrow in Launceston and then will make its way to Devonport in what marks 40 years of history for the event. Navigating the chaos of COVID implications, something organisers are still getting used to.
Flights are getting changed left, right and centre. I feel like I've hardly organised a sporting event. I've been more of a travel agent or a healthcare professional in the last couple of days.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
The Taste of Summer organisers are promising this year's event will be the most inclusive edition yet. Organisers have partnered with disability support group Possibility to employ Tasmanians with a diverse range of abilities in behind-the-scenes roles.
They'll be around helping between each of the sessions, making sure that the facilities are really first rate so that they create a really good impression of the taste for our interstate visitors as well as locals.
The Refreshed Taste event starts tomorrow and runs until January 3rd. And the Hobart Hurricanes are in action in tonight's twilight game at Blunston Arena. Bowling first, the Hurricanes got off to an ideal start, dismissing Matt Short for 2.
There's a shout. Umpire thinks about it and gone. Matty Short has been tracked in front by Tom Rogers.
But the strikers are holding firm. Jake Weatherald and Matt Renshaw hit half centuries. The strikers are 3 for 131 after 15 overs. Boats are also on the water and fighting to win the festive period's other traditional yacht races. Competitors departed Port Phillip Bay this afternoon in the Melbourne to Hobart. 2019 winner Tavaki 2 has the edge, while Merloin leads on the way to Devonport. Meanwhile, in the Launceston to Hobart, Tasmanian boat Fork in the Road leads the race, with competitors just rounding the state's northeast tip. Tasmania Jack Jumpers guard Sam McDaniel put the first points on the board in their win against the New Zealand Breakers yesterday afternoon. It was a particularly monumental game for Sam's father, Wayne McDaniel, a former Tassie Devils star who sat courtside for the first time. Wayne described the moment as incredibly special.
I'm so excited for obviously what he's doing and how he's developing in a short period of time and how the team is doing, getting their second win.
You know, my dad obviously did great things here and I'm obviously here now and
looking to kind of build a culture up of a new team, you know, and to do it and to have my son here now is, you know, pretty emotional for me.
The Jack Jumpers now turn their focus to New Year's Day, where they'll hope to keep momentum. McDaniel will also no doubt be putting in extra effort as they face off against his old side, Melbourne United.
Good evening. 22 was the state's top today in Launceston, Devonport 19, 18 in Burnie and Hobart 17, 20 across Bushy Park and Low Head, St Helens and Strawn 18 and Lyweenie 14. On the close-up shows cloud about the southern half of Tasmania and the east coast. Further out, cloud associated with thunderstorms are developing about western New South Wales, while the north of the country is covered with cloud due to a tropical low. Tomorrow, a high-pressure system south of the Bight extends a ridge over Tasmania. Southeast to southwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. Tomorrow's forecast now Hobart and Adventure Bay, partly cloudy 21 in Tarraleah. In the north, Launceston 25, mostly sunny across Devonport and Bridport. Burnie tomorrow mostly sunny 19 about Strawn and Marrawar. St Helens and Swansea 21 and mostly sunny in Whitemark. The UV forecast is reaching extreme 12s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now, Wednesday fine apart from possible showers about the southwest. Thursday west to northwesterly winds with possible showers about the southwest. And Friday possible showers across the central west and southwest. Capital cities 39 and very hot and sunny in Perth tomorrow. Melbourne 24 and a possible shower in Sydney. And currently Hobart mostly cloudy and 16, Launceston 17, Devonport partly cloudy and 16. That's all in weather, Lou.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, Jackie. And that's all your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Good night.